Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of I Should Do a Podcast with your boy, Raider. Today we have a very special guest in the building. Well, he's not really in the building, but he's right next to me on camera. His name is Jason Elbert. You know him, he's from Lawton, Oklahoma. Big influence in Lawton, Oklahoma. Former Army National Guard. Man, he did 10 years in the National Guard, man. That's a big salute from me because that's a lot, man, to be in the National Guard. But let's finish this, man. My guy has a bachelor's in media communications. And if you need anything with your media, your video, you want to do weddings, bar mitzvahs, videos, music videos, commercials, I'm telling you right now where you need to go to. You'll get to see some of the quality work that he does. ProMotion Media Group in a building. He's an owner. He's a multimedia specialist. He sometimes spits some bars. You're going to even hear that today. I'm telling you, man, listen, my intro don't do justice to him, man. I'm just going to bring him on the screen right now. You get to see who he is. Make some noise for the boy, the homie, man, Jason Elbert.
Appreciate that, man. Nice intro.
What's happening? Right.
You got me right up. Audio's good, video's good. We in there?
You looking good,
check,
man.
Check.
Looking sharp, man. Right, and I'm looking at the Atlanta Braves hat. That's kind of disgusting. But hey, man, we're not gonna even go there right now. That's disgusting, man. Listen,
we're the champs,
man.
So we're not the champs no more. You
are the champs, and I got to bow down to that. You guys are the champs, but man.
Yeah.
Before we go into anything, man, I saw something because I was doing my little research. Yeah, we do research when we have our guests on. And I saw a quote, man. You know, some people, they pass by this stuff. I saw a quote on your page that says, "The broken are the more evolved." Expound on that for me, man. Okay, so he had it tatted. Talk to me about it.
Man, actually, it's kind of nerdy when you say it out loud, but I actually got the quote from the movie Split. You know, the movie where Buddy got a bunch of personalities, and you know the Beast is coming and all that. You know, toward the end of the movie, he lets one of the girls go because he realizes that she's not, quote unquote, what he considers impure. You know, it's kind of he considers purity to be kind of the opposite of what actual purity is. And what he considers to be pure is really anybody who's actually gone through something, trials and tribulations, things like that, are considered pure in his eyes. And what he looks at her when he's getting ready to eat her alive, he's getting ready to kill her, and he sees all these scars and sees that she's been through trauma and she's been through some things in her life. He looks at her and he says, she should rejoice. He's going to let her live because the broken are actually the more evolved. Like if you actually been through something and you know you made it out, you carry traumas, you carry past pain and tribulation with you, and you continue to survive. You're actually more of an evolved species than people who haven't, essentially. So it's a good way for you to take the hurt and the pain and the trials that you've been through and learn from those and grow from those and become a more evolved species because of those experiences.
Man, look, I didn't expect us to go there. Man, I did not expect that. That's man, that's real deep, man.
We went deep real quick.
We did, yo. We jumped. We come in like, look, the water not cold, deep in. Let's go diving board, man. Check that out. I did not expect that, man. That's kind of like you say, kind of nerdy, but it's kind of beautiful the way you put that. I like that, man. Okay,
for sure, man. And you know, and that's kind of not to jump the gun too much, but you know, I have a clothing line that I started a couple years back called Motion Sick Clothing, and one of the concepts behind most of the designs is you know, taking zero losses. Like we don't take L's, we learn lessons. Like our losses become our lessons. It's kind of the same concept. What you've been through can teach you things, and if you actually learn lessons from the losses that you take, they're not really losses at all. You know, they actually are wins in their own right. So it's all about how you approach trials, how you approach pain and trauma, and how you respond to those that builds your character.
Wow. And my guy he's coming in here bringing nuggets to the podcast, man. Listen. Okay. I'm gonna reel it back a little bit. Okay, man. Yeah. Do you remember how we met?
It was something to do with one of the CHH shows we were both involved in at some point, I believe.
No, man, we met playing basketball.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Dude, the
Yeah, I
first
didn't know if
time.
that was the I
Yeah,
didn't know if that was the first time or if we
yeah.
met sometime before that.
Yeah, man, we met. I met your brother, man, and me and your brother, you're doing a show in Lawton, Oklahoma, so there's no green one. We met in the bathroom.
Mhm.
It's a shame, but man, yeah, I met, man. Me and your brother, we kicked it, man, and he instantly became my brother. So when I met you, it's like I don't even think you even knew my name when we met. We just clicked. We were cool. Then I
Mhm.
think I was kind of too old to play ball with y'all at that time, so I wasn't really showing my best. But yeah, man. But tell me a little bit about growing up in Lawton, Oklahoma, man.
Man, I guess what you see is what you get. It's not a whole lot different now than what it was. Couple new businesses and a couple new blocks now, but other than that, man, it's kind of it's always been what it is today. You really, it gets a bad rap for, I guess, crime rates and per capita murders and whatever else you think is wrong with it. But really, it's just like any other place. You keep your head down and mind your business. It's not really a bad place to be. It's kind of boring, but it's not really any different than any other small town anywhere else in the world. I've stayed out of trouble my whole life because I just mind my own business. But I got aspirations to move around, just never really have gotten an opportunity to quite yet. But it's home, and I love it for what it is. I think I've gotten pretty much everything out of it I can at this point, but I don't have any qualms or any regrets about being here, except to maybe been here a little bit too long. Time to move around a little bit.
I feel that. I feel that, man.
Yeah.
So 10 years in the Army National Guard. First off, as a veteran myself, I got to salute you, man. That's cliche. We never really say that to one another, but because of the podcast, people need to understand that we do appreciate even every work of military service is appreciated. So you are appreciated in my book. Tell me about that, man. What I know it's a military town, so it's kind of cliche, but give me your experience on what drove you to join in the military and spend and dedicating 10 years of your life, man. That's not an easy feat.
Yeah, so the reason I got into it is kind of goes back to what we talked about before. It was one of those down times in my life. Really, I was a young kid. I was 18, 19 years old and still doing knucklehead things. Ended up, um, you know, basically withdrawing, dropping out of college my second semester, basically because I was failing due to non-attendance. Wasn't going to class, and rather than fail, I just drop out. And my logic was, well, I'll just switch my part-time job to a full-time job and just work for the summer, get money and pay my back tuition and get back in school in the fall. Well,
Right.
that same day that I dropped out, I went and got fired from my job for doing knucklehead things at the job too. So the same day that I lost my school, I lost my job. And this is the only 2 week span since I was 16 years old, even to this day, that I didn't have a job. And I was just kind of sitting around, got depressed, and didn't really know what I was going to do with my life. I didn't have no school, didn't have any money to pay what I owed to get back into school, didn't have a job to get money. And I spoke to a couple people who told me about the National Guard and basically that I could, go to basic training, go to AIT, help stack some money a little bit to pay what I owed, but then they would also help take care of college from that point forward. I would have my tuition waived. I would be able to join ROTC and get paid a stipend from that. I was, there's a couple more programs that I was involved in while I was in school that, paid me a little extra money. And when I graduated, I would be a lieutenant. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to be in the Guard anyway, I might as well be a lieutenant because I'm going to be going to school anyway and I could just get it all done at the same time.
Right.
So really my motivation was kind of to kick myself in the butt, get going again and stop being a knucklehead, all while being able to get school accomplished at the same time. And it's one of those deals where most of the people nowadays are joining the army or the military or especially the reserve National Guard for school or sign-on bonuses or whatever it is, and I was no
Right.
different. I wanted to get my school paid for, and I did it, got my tuition, did one deployment to Afghanistan in 2014, ended up staying for a few extra years after that, and ultimately just decided that I had done everything I wanted to do and it stopped being fun, and I wasn't feeling it no more, so I resigned. That was it.
He said it stopped being fun, and I just resigned. Similar to what I
That's
did. But
it.
okay, so you joined basically to kind of help get your schooling back on track. So and as an intro, we talked about your bachelor's degree in communications. So tell me about that. Like you're getting back when you get out, you got it back into college, you got your degree, and you begin to move into this multimedia space. Talk to me.
Yeah, so I tell everybody that the trajectory of my life in the professional world has kind of a stepping stone type history. So for example, here's how it started. I got my degree while I was in school for broadcasting. I actually started working at Channel 7. I was in the news department.
Okay.
Started as a video editor. That's kind of how I cut my teeth editing videos, was at the TV station. Well, school, and then at the TV station. And, kind of, I worked there for 4 or 5 years, and I moved up to producing, and I eventually became the internet content director at Channel 7. I left Channel 7 to go deploy, and while I was deployed, I was the public affairs officer. So I did a lot of media, some newsletters, some video production while on deployment, and came back. Didn't want to go back to Channel 7 because I had a family and it just wasn't paying anything. So um, went into selling cars. My first week selling cars, I became the internet business development director at the dealership I was at, and started messing with the website and
Wow.
started dealing with social media ads and all that. So all of those things together, kind of like, this job set me up with this skill to help me do that. Then I moved on to this job, which used that skill a little bit, but it gave me another skill. And then that job kind of brought it all together and gave me a whole basically the full gamut of skills that I have now that were essential into me knowing how a digital marketing agency works, all came in different ways from those different positions. And I combined all of those, and just dawned on me one day, I could do this. I could sell this as a business, because I don't think anybody in this town is doing that.
Right.
And it turned out there are a couple of competitors in the digital advertising marketing space in our area, in our market. But there's, at the time, there was really nobody, and there's plenty to go around, because there's hundreds of businesses out here. So I just started thinking, with what I've got and what I've learned over the past several positions that I've held, I know how to do everything that a business would need me to do,
Right.
from video production. And I've always had a side freelance gig where I was doing music videos and wedding videos and things like that. And so, it all just kind of came together. I could be a one-stop shop media company for anybody that needs anything. I know how to, I've always produced my own music on the side just for fun. So I know how to do audio production. I know how to do video production. I learned how to do digital marketing. Let's just combine all of those and make a business out of it. And that's what I did.
Okay. I'm listening to that. Okay, so you are in the multimedia space, and you pretty much are the go-to guy in the area. So we know there are competitors, but we know who's the go-to guy. We're not talking about that. But okay, talk to me about Motion
Appreciate
Sick
that.
Clothing, man. I didn't know about the clothing line, so I have kind of a affinity to fashion, but I don't really talk about it as much,
Yep.
because that's why someone as dark tone as me will come on the webcam in the loud orange shirt. So
Well, first of all, shout out to my guy AVO.
he's in the comments.
Haitian,
Shout out to AVO
got,
again, man.
got my joint in the mail the other day.
Go
You know what I
ahead,
mean? I got
man.
aviators. Oh, let me
Right,
get on the aviators, my dude.
No, go ahead,
Um,
man. He'll be here. He'll
uh,
be in Dallas on the 11th. We'll be there to support. So he's going to
yep.
Houston and Austin this week also. So yeah, man, we support the family, man. Anytime, man.
Yeah, that's my son.
Yeah, I know you guys birthed each other. It's kind of weird, but hey, I understand, man. We know how things work sometimes, especially in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk to your boy about Motion Sick Clothing Line, man, because we'll just start roasting AVO and we'll just get off the interview.
Yeah. So Motion Sick, man, it became. Sorry, he distracted me, but it became a way for me to like outlet the things that I had gone through, in my personal life the past few years. Made some mistakes took some losses personally, went through a divorce, went through a couple of years of heavy drinking and acting like a juvenile and not taking care of business, and almost lost the car, almost lost the house, almost had everybody in the street freezing to death, and ended up coming out of that, and ended up, by the grace of God and with support from family and friends, kicking myself in the butt too and saying, hey man, like this ain't helping nobody, and you got kids to worry about,
Wow.
so and all my losses were self-inflicted. Let's get that clear. One thing we're not going to do is, and one thing that really a lot of people out there need to hear, I think, because I hear it a lot going on around me with people that I know and people that I really care for and love as friends. Like, man, most of what you go through is your fault, man.
It's
like it's time to hold accountability to yourself. And it's the universe ain't out to get you. You just, there are bad luck scenarios, but if things continue to happen to you time and time and time again, and you just keep falling down, and it's not always everybody else's fault, man. Sometimes it's time to look inward. And now that that's out the way, still, as long as you're breathing, man, no loss is too big to recover from. As long as you can learn from those mistakes and take those losses, turn them into lessons, and move forward. And that's what the idea behind Motion Sick Clothing is about. It was not really a cash cow to me. It's not really made any money. I don't have dozens and hundreds of sales, but people that the designs resonate with, they support, they buy one, they wear it. And I think it's a message that a lot of people, if not everybody, can get behind. We all fall down, but how do you respond, and what are you going to do to push yourself back up and keep moving? That's what Motion Sick Clothing is about. All of my designs are focused on empowerment and recovery and hope. And those designs are, they're designed to help you be yourself, help you accept accountability for the things that you've done, but also help you improve and get better tomorrow. That's all we want to do.
Jason, you got a lot of wisdom, and you can tell that experience has led you a long way. So started off with the broken or the more evolved, and you can see that why you have that plastered on your body, because that connotation or that phrase kind of permeates throughout everything that you do. I kind of get it now.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
I like that. I kind of get it now. It makes a lot more sense. So we're gonna get a little bit off that, and I want to talk to you about something that I don't really want to talk about, but I think that everyone needs to know. How did you become an Atlanta Braves fan?
Man, I'm an 80s baby by birth, but I was born in 88. So really, I tell everybody I'm a 90s baby. I didn't know what was going on in 88, 89. I knew what was going on in the 90s though, and all that was going on was Braves on TBS.
That's a fact.
That's all that was going on. So, and they were good for the whole decade. So, my dad kind of brought us up Braves fans, and when you watch a team that good for that long and they're the only ones that are on TV every day, we really don't have a choice, but to become a Braves fan. So happy that we went through a rebuilding period that was painful, and now we're back on top. As unlikely as we are to repeat this year, I got to do all my representing before October gets here.
Okay, before we get off the Braves, who's your all-time favorite Brave?
If it ain't Ronald Acuna Jr. now, because he's only been in the league for about
3 years,
maybe
right?
4 or 5 years.
Okay,
but it's probably Chipper, man. Chipper Jones, Chipper or Andrew.
Okay. Not Glavine?
Can't go wrong with Chip though.
None of the
yeah,
pictures?
like all the '90s guys, man. They were crazy good. But there's too many to choose from back then.
Okay,
I'm not gonna be lame and say Hank Aaron. I don't know anything about Hank Aaron, but I know highlights.
Hank Aaron, I'll just call you a vampire.
Right.
I've never even seen Hank Aaron swing a bat before, so I know I have no clue. But okay, casual bar spitter. I like the way you put that. We know that you have a plethora of featured and solo songs. So I need to know, when did the hip hop artists? Okay, no, let me say it this way. When did you get this affinity for hip hop? And then as a second part, when did you start realizing that, hey, I can do this myself?
Well, I think the affinity for hip hop for a generation like ours that was really just kind of coming into adolescence around 2000 ish.
Fact.
You really didn't have much of a choice but to be exposed to a lot of it. And it really just came down to did you like it or not? And really, my older brother, who's only like 15, 16 months older than I am, at our age now, we're practically the same age. In school, we were 2 years apart, but, we're pretty close together in age. And, he was coming home with, the new Eminem joint and the new, whatever else. First of all, in 2000, I was like just barely 12. I had no business listening to Marshall Mathers LP, but that's what he was playing, so that's what we listened to. And so I developed into 2002, 2003 a really intense fanship for ABO stupid. I developed a really intense fanship for 50 Cent and the entire G Unit. I had every G Unit album for about a 5-6 year span, and listened to a lot of mainstream hip hop. Wasn't really deep in the trenches with like listening to everybody. I wouldn't say I was a hip hop head necessarily. I had a selection of artists that I like, and I pretty much listened to everything they put out. And it's not really that much different than today. I have probably a list of 10 artists that I frequent, and that's about it. But I always had kind of a savvy for technology, and my wanting to get into producing music was more about figuring out how to produce the music than it was about rapping.
Okay.
And making songs. And I was always really good at making words rhyme, but in retrospect, especially early, like I wasn't really talking about much. So it was just, I had a really, I always had the cadence. I was in the band and I was always really musical. So I never really had a problem with rhythm and with cadence and with rhyme schemes. So I always felt that I was, lyrically and like skill wise able to rap with or better than most of the people that I knew. But I wasn't very good at wasn't very good at making songs, and I wasn't really talking about nothing there for a while. So, I was producing music for me and a lot of my friends all through high school, and did even after that for a little bit. I've been producing music for probably close to 20 years now, to be honest.
Wow.
Here and there. But only recently have I really gotten it. It's kind of like the video stuff that we talked about earlier. I've been doing that for 10, 15 years, but only recently have I gotten good. And it's the same thing with the music. Only recently has it started sounding good, which just goes to show that just keep working at stuff and it gets better. But now I kind of just dabble in it casually. I don't really expect. It's kind of like the clothing line. I don't really expect to make it big or to make a lot of money doing it or to do what it really has evolved into now is I really want to make a lot of videos, and I want to market my music video this side of my business, and I've got all the equipment to make songs too. So I just do it all for free and use it to market the music video side of my business. I figure if I'm going to make music videos anyway, I might as well make the music to go with it and just have fun with it. And that's kind of how the last few videos that I put out, last few songs that I put out, one with Jacoby Ryan, shout out to my guy Jacoby Ryan, one with my older brother Jeff, who goes by Poetic Paul, and one with AVO. Really just wanted to have fun and wanted to showcase our skills, because I really do think that these rappers really can't see me at all. So, and that's just how I feel about it. So. And you can love the music or hate the music, but we're gonna get on the record having fun, and we're gonna wrap circles around whoever we want. Is how I feel about it. So I'm just gonna continue to make music and put videos out unapologetically, and you like it or you don't.
Let's go, man. I like hey man, he's talking his talk, man, and I can attest to, man, the guy has skills. When there are people in the world that just have skills that you see that they can pretty much do anything. And I watch him. He pretty much do anything, man. He literally he can do weddings. He can go from a wedding to making the rawest hip hop beat you ever heard in the same day. And I watched him. He can do it. So before we close, we're getting close to 30 minutes, and I don't want to keep you too long, but talk to me about your artist, man. We through our research department, who done a lot of things through the Facebook Messenger app, and we come to find out that you have an artist, and his name is King Train. So give us and the people an insight to who King Train is and where did you find him, what's the goal, and does he have any products out, music out, and when's the next show?
Sure. So King Train goes by the name Anthony. That's my guy. That's his government. I've known that dude since we were like 5th grade. So we go back way, way, way long. Pause. But we've been making music together for a while. Since about that time. The first project he and I put out was on Cool Edit Pro, which is now Adobe Audition, but back then it was Cool Edit Pro. And you remember the PlayStation 2 game, the Def Jam Rock the Mic game? It came with the little, that was the microphone that we used, that little USB microphone that goes into the video. Yeah. So we turned on the Cool Edit. We had that microphone plugged into a really busted Toshiba laptop. And I had my pop filter was a little wire hanger with a pantyhose around it. That was my pop filter. And we just started making music as best we could. It was obviously terrible. It was our first try, but that's how far back me and King Train go. He went by A Train back then. Now he's grown. I guess he King Train now. Shout out to my guy.
Okay.
One of the coldest lyricists, one of the best rappers that nobody's ever heard of in this town. He's got some following. People heard of him, but he don't have the recognition or the credit that he deserves for how good he is.
Wow.
And most recently, I wanna do videos. That's part of it. Selfishly is why I kind of really got into promoting him and becoming a management or media team for him as an artist. I want to do videos and I want to continue to hone that craft, but I want him to have some spotlight on him and get some recognition that he deserves. So as he continues to make music, he and I have begun to come up with a plan. It's a really new plan. It's still in its infancy. But basically, I'm going to be the executive producer for his projects going forward. I'm going to help him with the funding that he needs to get the music to sound the way it needs to. I'm going to be the one that produces his videos for him. I'm going to help him get shows booked. And we're going to try to turn this into a business that both of us can benefit from, but also put all the work that he's done into becoming an artist to work for him so that he can really get some success behind how good he is as an artist. So that's kind of where we're at now. Like, if he wants me to hop on features, I'm down. I will also wrap circles around him, and he know that. So anytime he wants to do that, we can do that. But really, just to be the behind the scenes guy, that's kind of the engine behind his getting to the money and getting to the success. That's what I'm gonna try to be for him. So we don't really have a name for his project, but he's got it all recorded. We're waiting on the mastering to come back now. By the end of summer, definitely, but hopefully by the end of July, we'll have a product ready to put out for the masses. Hopefully with 5, 6, 7, 8 videos accompanying that too. So we should have plenty of content coming y'all's way.
Okay, man, that sounds good, man. I tell you one thing, man. One thing about those Elbert boys, man, they're solid dudes. They're loyal, and you see it in both of them, man. So salute to your parents for whatever messages they instilled in you guys, because that, just hearing you talk about how you and Train came up and how right now you feel like that's my guy, man. He deserves more. That type of stuff is not normal in this day and age, man. So I salute you for that, man, and keep me posted on whatever he's doing, man. We'll get Trained on the podcast as well. As we're growing right now, we on the ground level, but the numbers are increasing every week. So hey, who knows, man? Shout out to Pastor Dixon, another Lawtonian in the comment section. But before we go, man, I need to know something, man. What was the motivation behind the Hustling Like Russell song? Because I'm not, like, Russell Westbrook, my guy, and he's out of Oklahoma, and all of Oklahoma hate him. Talk to me, man. What were you doing? Were you trying to make everybody mad, or did you like, no, I'm riding with Russ?
Yeah, man, I ride with Russ. I really don't know who in Oklahoma hates him. I thought we loved him down here. I don't care what everybody else feels. That's my guy. So Oklahoma City has never had an NBA team until 2008 or whenever they showed up. Right. And the whole state of Oklahoma finally has something to look forward to. Durant, Westbrook, Harden, Ibaka. deep playoff runs for several years in a row, had one finals appearance, a couple of Western Conference finals appearance, and we're like, these are our guys. These are our hometown guys. They love us. We love them. We finally got something to root for. And KD dips on us the way he dips on us, and everybody got sour. Well, Russ stuck around for a couple, 3 more years after that, 3, 4, however many it was. So that became our guy, man. So, and I just love the way the guy plays. He never takes a play off. If he's padding stats, then cool. Everybody else should try to pad stats if that's what that is. I don't know what they hating on him for, but if you're coming up with the thing that we wanted, the thing that AVO and I wanted to communicate with that song was like we don't stop, man. Like, we got stuff going on. We are hustling. We are trying to succeed. You got the Great 580 that my brother Jeff and AVO are on the board for. I think AVO's vice president or something like that. I'm not really sure of his title, but the Great 580 Association is dedicated to bettering our community, changing the negative stigma of the shady 580 to the Great 580. Like, that's a hustle, man. That's part of the hustle. Meanwhile, we got jobs, we got families, we got all these things going on, but we don't stop. We hustle. We are 100 miles an hour every day for whatever your goal is. Hustle doesn't have to mean you're in the streets getting money illegally. That's not what hustle means. Hustle means when I wake up, I'm on it, and I'm not done until I'm sleeping. And even then, I'm probably thinking about it, dreaming about it. Like, we got goals, and we're gonna meet them, and we're gonna get there. And when you're gonna talk about hustling, who's the only person you're gonna think about? Who's the first person you're gonna think about? For me, it's Russell Westbrook. That dude don't stop. And that's our hometown guy. And I had a jersey, and AVO had a jersey because he's a Lakers fan. And we was like, let's get it. So we went out and we had a lot of fun recording that song, man. And if you haven't listened to it, it's on YouTube. Search Jae Raider, Jae Raider. Hustle Westbrook is a banger. We not a single cuss word on it, not a single negative bar on it at all. It's just like the clothing line. It's about empowerment. It's about hope. It's about, finding something in yourself that is positive and running with that. And hopefully we can help through the clothing, through the music, through whatever it is that we do every day. Hopefully that we can inspire somebody to do something tomorrow that they didn't do today.
Wow.
And that's what Hustle Westbrook is about, man. And it was fun. And, my guy AVO came in, bro, and he might have done 2 takes, but I think it was 1, bro. He came in there, and he hit record once, and he got up, and I was like, He was like, yeah, bro. I was like, all right.
Man,
and that was a wrap.
Man.
And
you inspired me, man. I don't know what's up with you, man. I didn't know how the interview was going to go. I wanted to make sure we get your what you're doing out there. People need to know, man, that they have like a gym right now in the 580 area code right now. His name is Jason Elbert, man. He pretty much he's a do-it-all guy. But I'm about to put his feet to the fire in his very last question that I got for him right now. And I know he said he's not the biggest hip-hop fan, but he is a hip-hop fan. So I need you to dig in your mind crate and tell me your top 5 either hip hop albums or top 5 hip hop songs. If you can do it, if you can dig in that bag and let me know what you're thinking.
All right. So disclaimer before I answer this.
Go ahead.
My top 5 best rappers and my top 5 favorite rappers are totally different lists.
Okay, give me 2. Y'all know. We got time. We got 2. Give me.
They're totally different. I realize that my favorites aren't necessarily the best, but that's all right. I'm gonna go with my favorites.
Go. I like it.
In no particular order. I really love Young Buck, man. That's my guy. I still listen to Young Buck. He's ignorant and he's crazy, and it's just fun to listen to sometimes.
Okay.
Big Crit though probably is my favorite. I like his message on most of his B-side songs and most of his mixtape joints. The ones that aren't necessarily mainstream. Yeah. They don't get a ton of spins, but the ones that speak to you the most. He's got a ton of those. If you would just hit play on one of his old mixtapes or his double side album and listen to a lot of the low key joints, and you'll become a fan of his for sure. Not that his bangers aren't great, because they are, but you know what I mean. He's got a lot of B-side joints that make him a great artist. Let's see, Wayne, of course. I firmly believe that everybody after 2009 is an offspring of Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Lil Wayne transcended the game from about 2003 to about 2012. I would say 12, 13, something like that. Whenever Carter 3, 4 came out, I can't remember, but Wayne for sure. What's that, 3?
Okay.
Can't believe Young Buck's on there, but he's on there. Drake, of course. Drake is my guy. I'm not a stan. I don't love everything Drake puts out. I think he misses a lot, but he's another one that transcended the game. He changed a lot.
You think Drake missed a lot?
He misses quite a. I mean, I don't think he necessarily misses, but he's got quite a few that aren't my flavor.
Some skips. I got you.
Yeah, he got some skips. I wouldn't say he misses, but he's got some skips. He's the most versatile hip hop artist that we've ever seen, for sure. And I think I wouldn't say he fathered the sing-song style, because I think that would make us forget about a very important contributor in that boy Nelly from the STL.
More versatile than Kanye?
Don't ever sleep on Nelly. Yeah. I'm not a Kanye fan, though. I'm going to leave Kanye off of it. But I recognize Kanye's contribution to hip-hop, but I've just never really been a super fan.
Okay.
What's that, 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, got to go M, man. M got me into hip hop. Now,
can't go wrong with M.
Just to clarify, even the songs that I used to love, I listen to now. Like, what is this, bro? I'm not listening to this. But I think skill wise, he was one of the more transcendent artists for hip hop too. He changed a lot. He set the bar pretty high, Absolutely. And he did have a lot of songs. You know, in my opinion, Eminem's best songs lyrically are on the 8 Mile soundtrack. Whoa. I think he's got some songs on there that are not, goofy bullcrap songs. He's got some songs that speak to your soul, and he's got some on there that give you hope too. I think that movie was the same way. I mean, it's about coming up from the gutter and giving people hope, and I think that's why I like those songs a lot. But yeah, present day Eminem gets not just totally skipped, but he gets not even played at all because he's not nice anymore. But when he was hot, man, he was hot, and he changed the game. So you got to give him his flowers.
No doubt, man. Jason, man, it's been a pleasure just having this. I don't think we really had a 30-minute conversation since we've known each other. So this was good, man. I like it. I feel like I learned a lot about you, and I'm able to appreciate you. It's not that I did not appreciate you, but I can appreciate who you are and why you are. And one of the guys, Pastor Dixon, he's a local pastor-in-law, and he said he need to meet you, man. So you must have touched him as well. So listen, man.
Shout out to you, Pastor Dixon.
Thank you for coming in. As soon as I'm gonna let you guys know, everyone that's watching, as soon as I asked Jason about the podcast, he was like, sure, let's go. I think he wanted to go as soon as I asked him. I was like, wait, dude, we got time. We don't have to go the same day, man. So people like that, man, are genuine, man. Like I told you, man, I'm gonna get his brother on too, man. Those two guys, man, they're gems, man. You don't meet people that you know that you get what you get when you meet them, and I appreciate that more than anyone that's trying to fluff it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Jason Elbert. You can meet him where, Jason? You can get to him. How can you? Give me your socials and stuff like that.
Man, I'm on JaeRaider TV everywhere. JaeRaider TV on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. We took a bit of a content break. You see me, my studio in the background is under construction. I got big plans for content coming from JaeRaider TV on all social platforms. So as soon as I get right in here, I'm going to start up my podcast. I've got a couple of them.
Let's go.
Raider reviews. I'm going to do some tutorial videos as far as all things media and tech goes. My fiance Tori and I are in the plans of doing a cooking show, and I've got my guy Tristan. Shout out to Tristan. We're going to start a podcast called The Professors. We don't really know what we're going to talk about yet, but it's going to be lit. And
I'm watching that just for that. Professors. And just knowing you and Tristan. Oh my God. Okay, go.
And if you get my brother on here, tell him to get a microphone and battle me. I'll rap around him too, bro. I will smoke him.
So you're going to battle Jeff or Poetic Paul? Which one? I need to know.
Whichever one he feel like.
Because when I met cool story before we leave. When I met your brother, he introduced himself as Poetic Paul. So for months, I thought his name was Paul. Yo, man, we
He
out,
ugly
man.
for that.
Hey, listen up, everybody. It's Jason Elbert, man. Follow JaeRaider TV. Follow him on the socials. Get to know the guy, man. He's not only talented and come on, man. What are you doing? Let me get off of you. He's not only talented, he's wise, man, and he has a lot to offer to you. And especially if you have videography needs, if you have musical needs, if you just need help with web design, video production, advertising, digital marketing, and even the clothing arena. So get with my guy, man. I love people like that come through when you need them, and he's one of those guys that his word is bond. So hey, man, shout out to JaeRaider. But listen, everybody, this has been another episode of I Should Do a Podcast, and your boy is out.
Appreciate it, man. Dope show.
Yes, sir, man. Jay,
Double up, then triple that,
you
yeah.
the truth, man. You the truth.
Double up, then triple that, yeah.
Shout out to you.
Triple up, then double that, yeah. Zip 'em up, then double back. You know where you can find us. At the table with the trailblazers, pathfinders. Why would you?
For those that can't see right now, that's King Train. That's his artist right there in the video.
We know we crazy with it, you can't gaslight us. So when we pop out like when you backlight us, we there to shut it down like a bad virus. Y'all been sleep forever, got the bad itis. We about to make waves so they flatline us. I'm Russell Westbrook to the staff writers, racking up the numbers for the stat hypers. Hey.